Hey, I'm back at Providence Hill, and last time I was here, I called it a shooter's paradise. Now it's the battleground of one of the biggest sporting clay shoots of the year. Let's go check it out and have some fun. A few months ago, I came to Providence Hill, and it was an incredible experience, and one of the most beautiful places I'd ever been. What I didn't realize is that one video would bring new shooters to their first major event, or that I'd be standing here at the US Open, surrounded by the best in the sport. This isn't just another shoot. This event is NSCA's most prestigious rotating shoot that every major club wants to host. Known for big payouts, heavy competition, and excellent venues. This shoot is where legends compete, new stories begin, and the future of sporting clays takes shape. Welcome to the 2025 US Open. The US Open is held annually, rotating among elite clubs. This year, it was at one of the most beautiful sporting clubs in the country. This isn't just my opinion. I heard it over and over again from competitors. I got in early before the crowds, before the noise, just to soak it all in. And it was so worth it. The setup for the US Open featured over 420 Promatic traps in use across 2 main courses, 2 prelim courses, VTAS, subgauge, super sporting, multiple 5 stands, practice courses, and make a break. You're hosting the US Open. This is first time, correct?
Yeah, first time hosting the US Open. So it's pretty special for us.
I was here in January, and now I'm back here, and it is absolutely beautiful with all the green and that beautiful lake behind us.
And that's crazy. We're going to shoot over this thing, right? If you think about it.
I hear there's some monster fish in there. Is that true?
There's some huge bass.
Well, based on what I've seen so far, it's looking great. I'm looking forward to hanging out here a good part of this week, and best of luck to you this week because I know you're shooting as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Steve.
I could just feel it. It was going to be one heck of a week.
Thank y'all for coming to the Pro-Am. We really appreciate it. We're going to have a good time today.
One of my favorite moments from the week was early on at the Pro-Am. Each squad was paired with a pro shooter who shot the station first, explained their approach, and then coached the amateurs through it.
So for me, I know that I can't shoot that quick enough to shoot that second target anything other than drop. So the first target, I want to make sure that it gets up and it kind of levels off. So I'm taking it as it's level. I'm right on the bottom edge, just letting it come into my gun. As soon as it just starts to come into my gun, I pull that trigger. When I go to that second one, it's just peaked out. I don't want to shoot it at the peak, especially in the wind, because it's going to peak in different places. And so I want to hold it 3-4 feet underneath it and just move down at the same time with it. And just keep moving to the ground with it. As soon as I feel like I'm on the line, as soon as I've got directly underneath that target, on the line, 3-4 feet underneath it, I pull the trigger.
The amateurs would shoot 3 pairs, but they got to throw out 1 pair, giving them the freedom to listen and learn without pressure. As each group came through, I got to listen how the pro approaches the targets, and this was fascinating.
I'm going to that second hold point. It gives me a chance to relax my eyes to regain 2 more seconds, okay?
Look at the first one till you feel really connected, pull the trigger, and then try and get to that second one and shoot it just after it starts falling. You have to be a little bit underneath it.
Although all the pros are great shooters, many of them have different approaches. There are many ways to crush a clay, but the consistent thing from all the pros is that they have worked extremely hard on their approach, and most of them had coaching along the way.
That's what I'm talking about. That's it.
After the shoot was complete, we headed to the clubhouse for awards and dinner. I took this opportunity to catch up with some of the pros to pick their brains. Gavin, I couldn't help but notice you had a very cool looking gun out there today at the Pro-Am. I saw some scriptures on there across. Tell me a little bit about the inspiration for that.
Dieter Krieghoff
the fourth generation owner of Krieghoff asked me if I wanted a custom engraved gun, and I was like, well, that would be amazing. So on the right side, I've got John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his one and only son. And it's just part of the verse because they couldn't fit the whole thing. But whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. And then on the left side is, therefore I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as living sacrifices, holy and pleasing to God. This is your spiritual act of worship. And then on the bottom, I have a verse, Romans 5:3-5. I had just come through some really hard times in my life prior to getting that gun, and it's Romans 5:3-5, which talks about rejoicing in suffering and persevering through trials.
That's so awesome. Where's your wife? Why is she not out here?
She's inside. Yeah, we could go get her.
You should go get her.
All right.
Now today, I watched you shoot. I really liked it. You have a little bit different approach than some of the other shooters I saw. Like I talk to everybody, right? I'm always picking their brain. You were pulling through a lot of targets.
Right.
Why do you do that?
Well, I feel like, I started that way at a young age. Obviously I learned a lot of that from watching George Digweed shoot. That guy will probably always be the go to the game. It allows me to be free and instinctive. I really believe and can prove that, your eyes will always put your hands where they need to be, but you have to trust all that for it to.
But the technique I really didn't understand. You're gonna have to explain it. Must have been the presentation. You flipped the gun upside down on your shoulder and shot it that way. How does that benefit you?
It really doesn't. It's all for fun.
Now, Colette, you are a pro shooter and you're also a pro at.
Elm Fork, located in Dallas.
So tell me about this Pro-Am. I like that format. What'd you think?
I loved it. It was great. Great learning opportunity.
Women shooters, are they any different than men?
Yes. Our brainwaves are just a little different. How we perceive things, and we're a little more detail oriented. They're just not as coachable when their husbands are coaching them.
Oh, I found that out with my wife.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good,
yeah.
good. What I appreciate about this sport, the gun makes everybody equal. Like, this is a great sport. I love this sport. I advocate for it for the kids. It's a great way to always have something to do for the rest of your life.
He said that he is the better shot.
Wow.
What do you gotta say about that?
Actually,
Didn't frame it quite that way.
Let me create marital strife. Just let me try for a second. I've spoke with a lot of guys that say, I can't coach my wife. You guys must have a unique relationship. Do you help each other out back and forth? How does that work?
yeah, we've had to learn it. It's come with some difficulties. It started as a coach-student relationship, and so that's why I listen to him more than I probably do now. But we've gone through some things where it's like, oh, I probably shouldn't have said anything, but we've worked through it and we try to encourage each other when we can. And so you learn when to read those moments. When is it a right time to, hey, you know what, this might help you a little bit, or I better just keep my mouth shut.
I think that is a challenge that every married couple has, whether they shoot together or not.
I challenge him a little bit more now, like,
Yeah.
really, why do you want me to do that? But a lot of times he is correct and I just gotta listen to him. But it's pretty great because we can tag team, we can help each other, we can encourage each other, and also I'm his biggest fan, he's my biggest fan, and so it just makes shooting together really fun.
It's an inspiration to just hear a little bit about your story and what you guys are doing together. What's the name of your online membership again?
Sporting Clays Academy.
Check it out, Sporting Clays Academy. Gavin and Karen Miles, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
After a long day in the Mississippi sun, this Minnesota boy was ready to retreat for the night and get ready for a hectic week ahead. I was fortunate to stay right on site in one of the new cabins, perfectly located to jump into the action. But the real heart of the event, the people. All right, I'm sitting down for lunch and I bumped into Glenn Simmons from.
Hot Springs, Arkansas.
You ended up here at the U.S. Open because you saw the video we put out about Providence Hill. Is that accurate?
That's correct. After I watched it, I sent it to my son, told him to look at the video, and we're here.
I was asking you how long you've been shooting. You're here at the U.S. Open. You must have been shooting for a while before you end up here.
I've been shooting since Thanksgiving.
4 months. That is incredible. And had you ever heard of Target Focus Life before your dad sent you that video?
I had been watching your videos before they sent me that video on Providence Hill. Yet watching your videos on all the content that you put out for sure. But he is the one that saw that video first and sent it to my attention.
Well, thanks, Dad. Good to have you here. Nice to meet you.
Likewise, thanks for talking with me.
Good luck this week.
Thank you.
If you've never shot Halise, you're missing out. Wing targets spin and fly unpredictably, and watching people try to track and break them is both entertaining and intense. I got to watch Thomas Jacobs step up and give it his all. And let me tell you, he is quite the young masterclass shooter. I also caught Steven Berger from Berg's Outdoors, our TFL elite parazzi and Zoli dealer, shooting a few rounds himself. Let's just say the man knows what he's doing. Later in the week, I finally got to do some shooting myself. I met up with Blaze Whitehead and multiple-time All-American Mike Haas.
So what you have to understand is Blaze right here, he's #1 in the points rankings for the NSCA right now. #1. I've got a lot of points. I'm in the top 10. Blaze has almost twice as many All-American points as I do. You gotta let me catch up.
That's it. Hey, can't make it easy on you.
Both guys offered me some coaching on the course.
What a gun we have here, and what a shooter we have here.
What are some of your biggest accomplishments that you're most proud of?
Well, I think anytime you want to talk about your accomplishments, you want to talk about being a part of the national team. And in 2008, I was part of the Team USA FITAS team that went over to Cyprus and won the gold medal. My teammates Anthony Matarese, Greg Wolf, and Will Fennell and I put up a big number, and happy to bring home the gold for the U.S.
That is absolutely awesome. I got to watch you shoot yesterday. I just met you the other day, Minnesota guy.
Yep.
I'm a Minnesota guy, so
Yep.
it was awesome to connect. And I got to watch you shoot as part of the Pro-Am. Obviously, you know a thing or two. You also coach people. I love to take this opportunity to get coached myself. Well, I'm excited to shoot. You showed me the pair that we're gonna shoot at. They look easy, but maybe I should shoot first, see what happens,
Yeah.
and then you can give me your feedback. They're just a couple of springing teal, right?
Correct.
True pair.
Yes?
Oh.
Couldn't be any better. Dead pair.
Well, end of video. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed.
Most people can accomplish that pair once.
Yes.
The trick is to make sure you're getting all 6 or all 8 in a tournament. When you run into these targets that are clearly within your pay grade, you need to make sure you're getting every single one. It's really easy to get complacent, and as you come over to that second target, just drift past it. Let your momentum carry you past it, and that's going to result in a miss.
Like what you said about consistency, I think that's huge. I don't shoot a ton of sporting clays, but when I do, that consistency piece, I can hit those targets. Yeah, any given shot, I can hit those targets, but there's going to be some where my technique or something slips mentally and I don't hit all of them. I think a big thing too is we're shooting a video. I have no pressure, right? Because it's like we're just working together. If I drop a target, no big deal. You know, we'll show it to the viewers, you'll coach me if we love it.
Edit it out,
whatever we choose to do. But you get part of a competition and now I start thinking
Right.
and I'm processing differently. Do you have any tips on how to work that mental game so that when I go and actually shoot when it matters, that I can shoot at my full potential?
Yeah, there is no easy way to do that. You just have to put rounds through the gun. You have to put yourself in that competition environment. You have to experience it, and you just have to get through it. I tell most of my students that it takes about 3,000 to 4,000 rounds, 30 to 40 events in competition to really feel comfortable with that competition piece. As shooters come into this game, one of the things that I always tell them is start with some good instruction, get some good fundamentals from a good instructor, and practice through repetition and going to events. There is no easy way to do this. You have to put rounds down through the gun. If you haven't checked out Score Chaser, go to scorechaser.com. Professional instructors and ranges will host events and lessons on that website.
Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.
You don't talk like you're from Pennsylvania.
No, I guess that's from traveling down south and just picking up accent from a few different places.
I love it. All right, enough talking about talking. Now I got your gun, a DT11. What targets are we shooting today?
Let's do the C on B report pair.
All right, so we got the C that's coming across. Let's see that once. Pull. Bang. Bang. Okay. All right, I'll just shoot it. You don't, then you can tell me all the things I did wrong.
Got it.
Might be a long list, so be careful.
You'll be good. Oh. Both shots there, you hit both targets, right? So that would be a dead pair. I think how we can make a correction would be on our first one, we could bring our hold point back a little further.
Closer to the machine.
Correct. To make a connection with the target sooner.
Sure.
We shot it a second later where it starts to fall out a little bit. If we shoot it a moment sooner, the line's kind of still going up, or it'll be flat by the time we shoot. And then once we shoot that first one, we can kind of transition our eyes to look further out, right towards the trees to see that bee coming.
Are you putting your eyes just in front of that machine? Are you putting it on the machine?
Yeah, so basically my kill point's gonna be in this area.
Yep.
My hold point will be about a quarter to halfway back.
Sure.
And then my soft focus, my eyes will be in this area.
Hold point, eyes. Hold point. It sounds a lot like pull. Pull.
I feel like that was your best shot.
That was the best?
Yeah, I think.
Well, coaching helps a little bit.
It does a little bit.
Here's one thing I noticed. Most of, probably all of, correct me if I'm wrong, the very accomplished shooters have been coached at some point.
Definitely.
If you want to grow in this sport, coaching is huge.
For sure.
So I think both you and Mike today have helped me with that. But now we got to try something a little bit different.
Okay.
Well, you guys both coached me a little bit earlier on sporting clays, your specialty. My specialty is exhibition shooting, so I'm just kind of curious if I can coach y'all.
Let's try it.
Let's see who's more coachable. It's a simple, simple concept. All we're gonna do is grab a clay. Put the gun over the head, take the clay, throw it, boom, shoot it. It's that simple. I'll give you each one shot, and then I'll coach you a little bit, and then we're gonna see which one of you get it first.
All right.
Can sporting clay shooters do trick shots? We're about to find out. Mike drew the short straw. All right, Mike, let's see what you got. I did not expect that to happen. Your form and technique was terrible, but you hit it on the first try. That's pretty impressive. Okay. Mr. Whitehead, Mr. #1 All-American points.
Oh boy.
You're up.
Oh man. Yikes.
Good try. Good try. You both had similar, very ugly technique.
But you got mine on camera, I hope.
But I don't know, I'm not behind the camera. I'm gonna start up here, right? Just like sporting clays, how do we minimize gun movement? Excess movement leads to mistakes. So you for sure started with the gun down here, then you had to come up.
Yeah.
You made a lot of movement upwards for a clay that's probably gonna start dropping downwards. Depends how you throw it. So that's one thing. So I grab it like this. I can hold the whole gun like that. That allows me to throw, and look where my muzzle's at. I do gotta point it down for balance, but I throw, and as I throw, boom, I'm there.
Okay.
Secondly, throwing the clay, that's the most challenging part probably, and most awkward, right?
Yeah.
You guys are used to pointing a shotgun, you're not used to throwing clays. I grab a clay like this, right? And I just come back almost at a 45, and then I kind of turn my wrist, and I just let it roll off. So it's as simple as just getting that belly to show. We want a lot of belly. So I'm holding the gun up like this, clay here. When you hit them dead on like that, just smoke and powder.
Yeah.
We won't belabor this. We won't make you try that anymore. Mike is the winner of this competition.
Oh, all right.
You know, the real competition's coming
That's
up.
it.
The whole
Hey.
reason you guys are here, the US Open. I want to wish you both the best of luck. You're great shooters, great people, and thanks for joining us on Target Focus Life.
We, of course, had to make a pit stop at Make a Break to visit my friend Ed Pretchel and take in some of the skilled shooters like Brandon Powell. If you've never seen Make a Break before, let me break it down. It's fast, strategic, and incredibly fun to both watch and shoot. The field has 8 traps, each assigned a point value based on difficulty. The easier targets are worth 1 point, and then they go up from there, with the toughest being worth 7. Shooters go head-to-head in 10 report pairs, but here's the twist. On every pair, there's a #1 target thrown, and you first must break the 1-point target before you're even allowed to move ahead and shoot at the second. Miss that first one, you're stuck playing catch-up. The first half of the game is a structured sequence. The second half, that's the make-a-break portion, where shooters choose their own high-value targets, trying to either protect a lead or take a risk and go big. It's a game of skill, pressure, and strategy all packed into about 3 minutes. One missed target can swing the match. One gutsy shot can take the win. And the best part, It's just plain fun. Of course, no major shoot is complete without vendor row, and this one delivered. I stopped by the DuPont Krieghoff trailer to check out their lineup of premium shotguns that were absolutely beautiful. At Willie's Shooting, one of the top Blaser dealers in the US, I got to talk with the team that really knows their stuff. Nick McGlory not only knows a whole lot about shotguns, he's also a great shot. It was great catching up with Steven Berger at Berg's Outdoors. Always something fun to see in their booth. If you haven't already subscribed to the TFL channel, now's a great time because we have a whole lot more Perazzi and Zoli content coming soon. I also visited Cesar Guerini and saw their gunsmith working live as part of their pit stop program, which I've mentioned in some of our reviews. They're at most major shoots, tuning up guns and keeping their shooters ready. And finally, I swung by Beretta to check out the new for 2024 A400L Sporting. Perfect for the sporting clay shooter who wants a semi-auto with both function and style. As the sun set on Providence Hill, it was time to crown the champions of the 2025 US Open. There are a lot of different classes and events, but here are a few of the top shooters. Remington shooter Todd Hitch took the main event, out shooting 1,091 shooters. He ended up shooting 198 out of 200. Right behind Todd was Corey Cruz with a 187, followed by Theo Ribbs with a 186. The FITAS by Krieghoff event had 747 shooters, and Gebben Miles proved that he puts what he coaches into action, taking the top prize with a score of 96. Blaze Whitehead also showed up big, earning second with a score of 95. And right behind him was 2024 Summer Games Olympian Derek Mine, who also shot a 95. In the 5-stand event, Dominic Grossi took them all, shooting 100 straight. That is incredible. The Super Sporting event included 984 shooters, and Jonathan Prince shot a 96, taking the first spot, followed by Turner Parcell and Corey Cruz, who both shot a 95. The ladies' main event also delivered an impressive showdown. Madison Sharp led the pack with a strong score of 177, earning higher overall honors in the women's division. Karen Miles followed close behind with a 174 to take the runner-up spot, and Shelby Moon rounded out the podium, finishing just 2 targets back with a solid 172. Now, we've mentioned some pretty big names in the sporting clays world, but this shoot is full of all skill levels. Remember Tony Simmons, the guy that just started shooting last fall? I went to Score Chaser to see how he did, and I was blown away to learn that he earned 6 punches. This just goes to show that with hard work and determination, even new shooters to the game can have a place at these major shooting events. How cool to see. This was my first US Open, and it exceeded every expectation. The targets were challenging, the competition fierce, and the scenery unforgettable. But it's the people that made it truly memorable. New shooters, seasoned pros, vendor friends, and families from all walks of life. This is why I love this sport. And after watching it all unfold, I can't help but ask, should I step into a major competition myself? If I do, I'll need a coach, because behind every great shooter is someone who helped get them there. So now I've got just one question. Who should coach me? Feel free to leave your comments down below. Whether you're just getting started or chasing championships, one thing's for sure, you only hit the targets you're laser focused on. So live target focused.